Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today, this is a new series I'll be starting, which is a come and build with me type of thing. We'll just be building a whole barn. It'll be a whole process. So yeah, I don't really have an introduction, but I just decided to just voice over this because I feel like it'd be easier. So we're pretty much starting off with just like the main barn, just a simple base. As you can see though, I'm grabbing a brush because I'll be using lots of world edit. You can still do this without world edit, it'll just take a bit longer. However, I'm lazy and don't like to do that. So yeah, but here I am getting the brush and pretty much just to make the path, which will consist of coarse dirt, dirt path, and andesite. And I'm just figuring out if I want to add anything else. I decide not to, but I didn't really want to skip this part because I just want to talk for a second. But yeah. So then I got the brush, and as you can see, it just makes a nice path, and it's just so much easier, and I love it. And I dropped it, which was fun, and then I broke something, which is fun. But yeah, I'm just making the path, and it's just really easy. Really easy thing to do, and yeah. Okay, so here I am making, I was figuring out if I want to make a wall or not, which this is just really funny because I'm just trying to think of exactly what I want to make. But I ended up not making this wall, but I figured I'd just do this, and I'm just going to talk over, well, I'm just figuring this out because I didn't really want to skip anything because I do kind of want to show you guys the whole process. I sped this up a little bit. I'm not really sure how long this video will be. It might be longer, shorter, who knows. But yeah, I was just figuring out, like, what do I want to make as a wall? Like, I don't know. But yeah, so I just figured it out, and yeah, I ended up not making a wall anyway. But yeah, I was like, wait a second, what is this? What is this? And I was just like, okay, so I don't remember if I did True Stone Brick. I might have. Yeah, and I was like, okay, just forget about it. I'm just gonna do // undo, and then I just broke the blocks, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna move on to the next thing, which was making a entrance gate, because this is gonna be more like simple / ruler theme. So I just made a really simple entrance type thing. I think it was 5 up maybe, or 5 or 6 up. Yeah, it might have been 6. I'm not really sure, but as you see, I just put a wood across. I might fix it later. Of course, it'll be more detailed later, but it just gives me a base on what exactly to do. So yeah, and then once I was done with that, I came over to the end of the path. I believe I added a little more path. I can't remember. Yeah, I did add a little bit more going towards the barn, and then that path, is going to lead to something else. Not exactly sure what, but I figured why not. And then that path will lead to either a pasture or an arena, like a really big, just open pasture. And now we're at the time to build the barn, or at least get the base of the barn down. So right now I'm just figuring out, what do I want to build it with? Just a whole, it's always hard to figure out, but then I was like, then my brain was like, we should go old school. So I went with the good old oak planks, and I don't know, I just always wanted to build a nice, I just love building little simple barns sometimes, and I believe this path was, I don't remember, if I'm being honest. I mean, you could probably figure it out. I believe it was 8 or 10. I think it was 10 or 8. I'm not really sure. But I do remember the stalls themselves were 8x8 because I'll be putting swim horses and realistic genetic horses, and technically for swim, it's like, I don't know, just like make it 8x8 so it actually doesn't look like you're just cramming the horse in to a little stall. So as you can see, I'm just measuring it out and then building it up and going around. And these are, I believe, stripped spruce logs. And of course, you don't need world edit for this. You can all do it by hand. There's no fancy world edit type stuff, really. And of course, if you don't have swim, you can just improvise with other things, but I love it. And then here, I'm just setting the ground. I almost set it to sand, but I ended up setting it to the light rubber mats from Swim. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot darker of mats. I think I did light, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, now I'm just building it up, and now I just have the base foundation. And now I'm just coming around and just giving the barn an outline. Well, not barn, the stall a, you know, outline. Just so I know where I don't really know why I did this, if I'm being honest. I think it was to have like a base type thing, but anyway, so it's 8x8, and then I have that's to the back because I added runs, and then that's the front, and I have I always have this kind of basic design like this, but I never did it with this exact type of wood and such, so it was definitely a new experience for me personally. So yeah, and then I'm just figuring out, okay, how do I want to build this? It was a whole thing for me. I don't really know why, but it was, and honestly, I should time-lapse this, but I don't really wanna. But honestly, yeah, it was just a whole process, if I'm being honest. Okay, so now, I did skip a little bit, because it was like 5 minutes of me just figuring out what fence I want to use, or like what my options could be. But as you can see, I'm just, I went for these, they're in the Swim mod, I forget what they're called, but they're just really nice, and they really gave that stall effect. And then I don't know why I did that. I was just trying to figure out exactly how I wanted it. But yeah, it was a whole process. And then I broke those bottom two, and I was like, okay, yeah, I don't want that. So because I still want that stall feel, but I didn't want to have it feel like a big cage, which are kind of like what stalls are. So yeah, I'm just figuring out exactly what I wanted to do. And I was like, okay, no. I thought that'd be a good idea, but I feel like it'd be a better idea for a different type of stall. So yeah, I just went back to the basics, and yeah, and then I also, so as you can see, I think I actually skipped this, but so for the stall door itself, for the one inside the barn, I used a guardrail, which if you've ever seen, like, I don't know, maybe they're very popular in race barns. They're like this little guard. I believe this Esme has them too. She's a YouTuber. If you don't know her, go check her out. She does real life things. Anyways, but yeah, and then I didn't do the back yet, but then I was figuring out what I want to do here, which of course took a hot second. So then I just copied what I did at the front of the stall and just did it in the back really quickly, just so I don't have to, you know, worry about it later. But yeah, yeah, I was really liking how it's looking, and I still like it. I think it's one of my, I don't know, it's just such a cute little barn. It's not like too big, not too small. Um, and of course with barns now, I try and get as detailed as I possibly can without making it too detailed, because I just end up copy and pasting the barns, or the stall, or whatever it is. So as you see, I'm figuring out what I want to do. I'm not really sure what, but yeah. Okay, so now this took like I think 10 minutes for me to just figure out what back door I wanted. I ended up going with the dark oak swem horse stall door. So yeah, and now I'm figuring out what I want to do for the sides, which wasn't terrible. Didn't take super long, but it's still like, like hurry up. But yeah. So after figuring out what stall door I want to use, oh golly. Yeah, I was just making sure what stall door I wanted to use, and now, of course, I'm figuring out what I want to do. Did I just backtrack my video? I might have. Anyways, we're just gonna forget about that. Everyone makes editing mistakes. But yeah, I'm just figuring out exactly what I want to do, what I want to build it out of, and what I want the stalls to look like on the sides as separators and such. So, it was a pretty simple design, but it wasn't like, super crazy. Sorry guys, I had to take a drink out of my lemonade. Anyways, so as you can see, the design pretty simple, just some upside down staircases with some oak slabs, and then I also put, those are spruce western fences. And then I also put oak above because it looked like pointy. I don't know how to explain it, but it did. So I just did that and I broke it. Fun times. So then I was like, okay, so this base of the barn is done. Now I have to copy and paste, and here's a quick tutorial on copy and paste. So pretty much whatever end you want to have is, so I'm trying to think here. So always start with your top corner and then go to your bottom corner. So you see I have both corners selected. Now I'm gonna go and /copy, and here's the important part. You want to copy where you want it to be pasted. So like I stood there, so when I rotate it 180 degrees, and then I messed up here, but it's fine. So then of course pasted it, went that way, but as you see, exactly where I stood last time, where that rotated 180 is exactly where it pasted. So I just had to count, I think 9 or 10, and I copied it perfectly somehow, and I was quite pleased with myself, and I just broke that because that did. And now I'm going to time lapse building the roof, because it wasn't that, it was just like a slab roof. So enjoy this time lapse. Okay, so After doing the roof and then building the supports and then also doing the ground, which pretty simple. Then I went on to build some runs, which were very simple. And again, I'm going to time lapse this because I don't want this video to be 50 minutes long. Okay, so after that, I'm just adding light blocks with World Edit to the barn just to easily light it up so I don't have to place like millions of torches down. And now I'm copying, so the small portion of a barn, and then I'm going to copy and paste it so there's multiple. And I just find this the fastest way for me, and of course you can build this all by hand, but again, I'm lazy. I don't like doing this kind of stuff. So I'm just copying it, and then pretty much I just copy and paste it. So yeah, that's, I mean, pretty simple stuff. So I'm just going and then / paste, and I don't remember, I think I did it 3 times. I think, because it was an 8 cell barn if I'm not wrong. So yeah, and then one more time, and then yeah, that was pretty much the barn. But yeah, that was pretty much the barn itself, and it was pretty simple, and I was actually very happy with how this first barn turned out to be. Of course, stay tuned for part 2 of this series. I don't know if part 2 will come out in my next video, or maybe the video after. But I figured this would just be a little fun little series, and maybe even give you some building tips. I don't know. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!